Hey there guys, I'm going to quickly talk about my procrastination habits a little bit more than I did last week because I want to, and then I'm going to talk more about what James talked about on Monday. My procrastination habits are sort of weird and they sort of vary from time to time, but generally if I'm given like a large, I keep saying given, you people, if I'm given like a large chunk of work to do like I had either last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't remember, where all of my classes gave me a bunch of work that I needed to do, and it was a lot, and I didn't have much time to do it because my free time has sort of dwindled a little bit this semester. I still managed to find time to procrastinate, and it's terrible because I will set out times for me to do the stuff, which is just like the worst thing that you can do because you never end up doing it then. But I will say that I will use my 3-hour break when I'm not in class, but I'm at school and I've nothing better to do, and I'll use that to do assignments, and I just won't do assignments. Then I'll just sit there and do nothing. The internet will stop working at school because the internet at my school is not the greatest thing in the world. And I will sit there and complain with my friends about how the internet is not working instead of doing things that don't require the internet, which I need to be doing. And I don't know why I do that, and it's probably the stupidest thing I ever do. I've got a big chunk of work to do. I generally do it at like weird, inconvenient times, like 11 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes just during class whip out a notebook and start doing an assignment, or bring out my laptop during a lab and work for a different class, and it's terrible and I really should stop doing that. But I'm very good at getting work done when it needs to be done, but if I have a lot of time, and I know I have a lot of time, even if it doesn't feel like I have a lot of time, I won't do anything. I'm such a last minute worker, it's terrible. Basically, when I procrastinate, I sit there and do nothing. Tumblr, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, etc. Nothing, and sort of just get really bored, and then when I get bored I walk around my house and drink more chocolate milk and come back and then repeat the cycle again, and eventually I just cave and do something which is usually not what I should be doing instead. James talked on Monday a little bit about how when you have stuff to do, the best way to overcome procrastination and the block that comes with that procrastination is to just do it. And it sounds difficult because it is, but it is honestly the best solution. But I am so terrible at thinking of that. I know it's the best solution, and when I'm procrastinating, I know I should be doing work, but I never think to actually do the work because I'm weird, and I think we all do that, so we're all weird. I just need somebody to like stand behind me and like whack me over the head if I stop doing the work I need to be doing. That would be nice. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the other block that I experienced, because we started talking about procrastination as one of the blocks that James experiences, because somebody said to talk about blocks, like writing block and creative blocks, and so I'm going to talk about creative blocks for a little bit. I have been writing a lot recently, which I would assume that most of you know because I think I mentioned it last week, but if not, I write, and I have been writing a lot in the past 2 months maybe, give or take, and I'm actually almost done writing what I should be writing, and then I have to go back and edit it, long story short there. But I sort of use writing as a form of procrastination, so I use my creative things to not do academic things, and then when I sit down and write just to write and I have free time and I can do it, it generally works out that I get a writing block and I can't do it anymore because I'm not using that writing to prevent me from doing something else. And I don't know why that happens, it just happens. So when I use writing as a form of procrastination, it works out really well because I want to be doing that instead of something else involving school, but when I actually have time to do writing, and I want to, it never really works out that well, and I sort of just end up writing and then just stop after like 15 minutes because I can't get anything out, and it's just a terrible, terrible writer's block, and then from there I just start going back into my cycle of nothingness. I procrastinate from procrastinating sometimes. I don't understand how that's even physically possible. I will see Katie tomorrow and on Friday. Leave challenge suggestions down below, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.